Bada bing, bada boom. The Geeks are signing in for the main card. Andrade versus Lemos. Let's get it at the Apex. Starting off the main card. Holy mole. This might be the best fight on the card. We got Charles Jourdain versus Lando Vanada. The groovy Lando, 12-5-2. This is a featherweight scrap. Charles Jourdain, 12-4-1. Everyone knows Jourdain for his last performance. Crazy front Spartan kick to end the fight. He's a dog. I mean, he's got crazy good stand up. He can handle himself on the ground. Lando Vanada. I mean, for as many fights as he's had, he's taken a lot of damage. I want to say he's a wrestler, but he's in love with the stand up. So I could see this fight just being a stand up gladiator battle to the death. Like, let's go, man. I think these guys are going to punch each other in the face until some serious damage comes in. I think a ref stoppage would be a good line. I wish they had that kind of prop. But I'm gonna take Charles Jourdain in this fight to have a little bit more young energy and just be the healthier guy with less damage in his career, because it's just gonna be a fight that I feel like is so close, and I just want like the slight edge, which I feel like falls with Jourdain. So I'm gonna take Jourdain in this fight. Not laying a lot of units on this, not parlaying this. Gonna be a scrap and a half. Just gonna be something great to watch, honestly. Let's go, Goose.
Yes, absolute scrap we have on our hands here. Probably, actually, not even probably. This is the best fight of the night, in my opinion. Going into it, I think it's going to be a striking bout. Vanada does have the wrestling advantage, but I don't think that will come into play too much. On the feet, they're both pretty slick, but I think Jourdain's a little quicker. And for Vanada's hands down style, I think he's going to get clipped a little bit early and have to throw the hands up. It might throw the game plan off a little bit. I see Jourdain bringing more volume. And also, another thing, Lando Vanada, former 155er, now in I think his second fight at 145. The chin's not always there for older guys dropping down in weight class. So given that it's going to be a war, and I think Jourdain's going to bring the volume, I am picking Charles Jourdain to get the dub here.
Yeah, gonna be such a good scrap. So these little things are what's gonna matter, that drop in weight class, that age, we're gonna find out. Dano, what you got?
You guys have pretty much said what I'm thinking. I think that both these guys are pretty much clones of each other. Lando's got a little more edge on the ground. Both 5'9", and they just love to stand and bang. And I think Jourdain is a little bit quicker, a little bit younger, a little less miles on the body. And I think Vanada's going to try and stand up with them, and Jourdain's just going to totally accept it, maybe even let the ego get in the way, like we saw in his last fight when he was Spartan kicking and just screaming. And so I think Jourdain's going to have the upper hand in the stand-up, but it's going to be back and forth. I'm going to go with Jourdain.
Let's go. Fishman.
Yeah, so this fight is going to be a banger, like you guys said. This one and the Jordan Wright fight are definitely going to be probably the most entertaining fights of the night. But Lando, 4-5-2 in the UFC, and he's had since 2018, since the start of 2018, he had 7 fights. So he's been very active. He's fought a bunch of caliber dudes. Like Bobby Green. His debut fight was against Tony Ferguson, and he got subbed. That was the only time he's ever gotten subbed. He's fought Drakkar Klose, Mark Diakese, David Tamer, and on the other hand, Charles Jourdain, 3-1 in the UFC, 8 knockouts, and like Dano said, they're kind of on the same page right now, both almost like split records, 500, and I think they're both going to come to bang. Charles Jourdain coming off a win with that Spartan kick. Andre Ewell got subbed by Arosa and a dub on Marcelo Rojo. So those were all in 2021. very active. I'm going to go with Jourdain on this one just because he comes to get after it. That third round, he really pushed the gas and let it rip. So I like to see that.
Let's go, man. We got the sweep on Jourdain. Interesting takes. We're moving into the next one. It's a female boot. Macy Barber, 9-2 versus Montana De La Rosa, 12-6. Flyweight scrap. Macy Barber. Off rip, I had high
expectations.
I had high expectations for Macy Barber coming in. I thought that she was a really legit prospect. I thought that she had a lot of dog in her, and I thought that she was going to do some damage. And she just kind of hesitates, and she's got a lot of gaps, and it's hard to bet on her, even though I think she's going to win this fight. So for that reason, I have no stakes in this fight. I'm strictly a spectator. So that's what I think. Let's go Dano off rip on the females.
I like Macy Barber, and she had a lot of hype. But when you go out and you lose to Roxanne Modafferi, it's like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to tell you she's going to beat someone else? Because Modafferi, I think, would get beat by a lot of people, a lot of women in the division. And even though she might have been banged up, it's just like such a bad look. I don't know too much about Montana De La Rosa, but I'm not a fan of Macy Barber, so I'm going to pass.
Goosey.
Yeah, I've been on the fade Macy Barber train, I will admit. That being said, I'm picking her in this one. Just because I think her striking is a little bit better. I think she has the wrestling necessary to slow down Montana De La Rosa in the grappling department, which that is what she is going to repeatedly go for in this fight. And if it does go to a decision, even if Macy Barber loses, she still might win because that's what's been happening in her fights. It's crazy. She's gotten, I think, 2 robberies in her last couple. So what's one more? I'm going to pick Macy Barber in this one.
Yeah, what's another robbery? Fishman.
Macy Barber, 4-2 in the UFC, and I mean she's never gotten finished. Team Alpha Male, 5 knockouts, 2 subs. Montana De La Rosa, in 2021, she was 1-0-1. She had a knockout win against Ariane Lipsky and a draw against Myra Buenasova, who had a crazy fight last card. Yeah, I'm riding with Macy on this one. I think she could stay out of any sub threat, but yeah, I think she lets some hands go, gets a UD, unanimous decision.
All right. These are valid takes. I mean, I highly recommend not putting any stakes on this fight. Let's move on to the next one. It was supposed to be Tanner Bozier and Alexander Romanov. We get a tweet from Tanner Bozier that he's not coming out. So we're going to move on to the co-main event with the legend, the caveman, Clay Guida, stepping in for the co-main against the young Peruvian, if I'm not mistaken, Claudio Puelles. This is going to be a scrap and a half. This guy's about 26. I believe he turns 26 the day of weigh-ins, which was kind of tough to hear. But he's been training down here at South Florida. He just moved in. He says that, his progress is just insane. I've been listening to a lot of interviews. He's a big submission guy. He's got 2 knee bars. Clay Guida, on the other hand, the pace, you cannot sleep on the pace of the man. This guy is relentless pressure. This guy game plans. This guy knows how to beat people, to say the least. And I'd be silly to sit here and not talk about how the caveman can beat Claudio with just his veteran savviness and just, pressure and wrestling. And yeah, this could go that way. But I'm really sold that Puelles is going to have enough in his bag to put away Clay Guida at points in this fight. I think that this kid is something special, and I think that he's been getting some seriously good training in these last couple months, and I think that he's ready for this opportunity, man. I think that they don't just give anybody Clay Guida. It's a big moment for them to either shine for either guy. So it's like, they don't like to put guys in there that are going to beat their legends and not have any positive reinforcement or consequences, you know? So I like Claudio Puelles in this spot, man. I think they're trying to give him some good light. Let's go Goosey.
Yeah, you look at a fight from an outsider's perspective, and it would appear that Claudio Puelles is on his way up in this division and Clay Guida is on his way out. So this is the crossroads fight. I'm going to take the guy who appears to be on the way up. I think Claudio Puelles gets it done. Originally, I was on Clay Guida just because he is kind of making a resurgence. He's tough. It's going to be hard to get him out of there, but I think that Claudio Puelles has the tools. If you're going to beat Clay Guida on the feet, you got to hit him with long, straight punches to keep him at range and kicks to the body. Claudio Puelles does both of those things. And in the grappling department, which is inevitable in a Clay Guida fight, you got to be able to submit him. And Claudio Puelles definitely has that option. He has very good jiu-jitsu. He might spend a good amount of time on bottom in this fight, which is worrying, but he will be looking for that submission throughout. And personally, I am going to predict Claudio Puelles to get the guillotine finish in this one. The Geeks.
Let's go. Claudio Puelles going to show out for the Geeks. That was a great take. I'm with that take. Dano, what you got?
I got that Father Time comes up on everyone, and Clay Guida's been pushing it aside, but it's not like you're Vince Carter at the end of the bench waving to the fans saying, oh, this is my last year. Unfortunately, you're in an octagon fighting someone for a spot on the roster. And even though we're saying, oh, the Clay Guida in the co-main, this is a big chance for Claudio Puelles to make a good performance on a big name. Interesting fact about Clay Guida, he's only won 2 fights in that he's been taken down in. And I know it's crazy, but if he gets taken down, just the chances are just not on his side. And even though Puelles doesn't have the best takedowns, he's kind of like a chain wrestler like Derek Brunson. You'll see him like crawl on his knees to keep getting the takedown. And those are hard to stop at an older age. And I think if he can get him down, he can do damage. And, you know, Puelles is just not the guy to mess around with because he will submit Guida. And even on the feet, I feel like, you know, he's just the younger, more athletic kid. And even though Guida is known for his gas tank, older age, you know, I keep saying, even though he's been pushing it off, it's got to creep up with you at some point. And I just think this is a big opportunity for Puelles, and Dana's doing something with it. You know, he has a vision for everything. So I think Puelles, it's big time for him. I'm going to go with Puelles.
Yeah, facts. Fishman.
Yeah, Clay Guida, the freaking vet, debuted in UFC 64. So it's tough to see a vet pick against him, but I'm going to have to do it because Claudio is up and coming, like you said, 4-1 in the UFC, Sanford MMA guy, 6 subs, never been submitted, 2 dubs in 2021, and Clay Guida has strung up some good couple of last fights with Marco Madsen, Leonardo Santos. But yeah, I think Puelles gets the job done. Maybe I'm kind of want to ride with the sub, but I don't know. Maybe Guida stays out of it, but I think Claudio might just get the unanimous decision because Guida's hard to put away. But Claudio.
Yeah, let's go. And another thing about that Clay Guida Puelles fight is that you know, Clay Guida, it's inevitable that, I mean, the money line is even, and Clay Guida, it's going to be on the ground. So, I mean, Claudio Puelles, only guy with 2 knee bars in UFC history. So, I guess he might be the best knee bar guy of all time. Look out for the knee bar. All right.
Watch your knees, Clay.
Yeah, watch them kneecaps, boy. That's like what the bookies would say. All right. Amanda Lemos, Jessica Andrade, we are into the main event. The female boot. Andrade is 22-9. Amanda Lemos is 11-1. Amanda Lemos has power in her hands, and she is an entertaining fighter to watch because She just kind of slowly stalks her prey, throws bombs. Andrade, on the other hand, so explosive and throws bombs and drops people on their head. And I just think that there's levels to the game. I say this, I feel like every week for at least one fight. I'm saying it for this one. Andrade, debatably third best flyweight, strawweight, whatever you want to call it. She might be the top 5 female fighter right now in the UFC. This chick's legit. She only loses to phenomenal talent. So, I mean, Lemos, not established, hasn't done anything crazy yet. I don't think that Andrade is the girl to make her name. I think that this is too much. And I think that Andrade at this weight class is the best Andrade there is. And she's going to come out and drop this girl on her head. So give me Andrade. I think that she's 2-1 money, about minus 200, maybe minus 250. As long as she doesn't get clipped, I think Lemos has a puncher's chance. As long as she doesn't get clipped, she's going to drop her on her head a bunch of times. I think Andrade gets a round 3 finish. Let's go Fishman off rip.
So Amanda Lemos, we got kind of, it's what can I say? I mean, she's riding a nice streak, but Andrade is a vet. She's got the XP. She's been a champ. She's fought Shevchenko, Rose twice, Wei Li, Joanna. So, I mean, I'm riding Andrade, but yeah, I just don't see Lemos winning in any department here. On the ground, standing up. I think Andrade is a brawler. She's just been through it and been through the best, seen the best. It's kind of just one of those fights.
Yeah. We'll see if Lemos is like, extremely high caliber out of nowhere. So Goose, what do you got?
Starting off, I saw a fun fact that I did not even do any research to check, but I'm taking it for what I saw, that there's only been one knockout by women's UFC fighters in 2022, and that was Molly Meatball McCann at UFC London. I think this fight has a good shot of being the second of the year, whether that is Lemos in the first round or Andrade a little bit later. I think both girls have the tools to get it done. I am picking Andrade to get it done in this because on the feet, she brings a little bit more volume. She's better on the ground, and she's got more experience. And the main thing being experience, because in women's MMA especially, that seems to play the biggest factor going into a fight. Is a lot of times in my experience, the women that have had the harder path, fought the better fighters, typically do better in even circumstances. So I'm gonna say the trend sticks in this one, and I'm gonna go with Andrade to get it done.
Let's go, Dano.
I don't think Andrade is like too good on the ground. I feel like in her past fights, she's been progressing each fight, but she's like a shorter, stocky, like bully in the division where she just bullies the girls on the ground and on the feet, pushing them up against the cage, body shots. Her losses are to Shevchenko, Wei Li, Rose, and Joanna, her recent losses. Even though she did knock out Rose, which shows the power and shows the, just like power of her or whatever. And, but the more advanced fighters, she can't bully around. And Lemos, even though she is 11-1, I feel like if they were originally the same weight, I'd like Lemos, but Andrade is coming down. I feel like she's going to be the bigger girl, even though she's not going to be taller. She's going to probably be the wider, thicker girl out there, and she's going to be able to push Lemos around. Like you said, CEO, I think if she cannot get clipped, it's just going to be an Andrade show. So I'm gonna ride her.
Yeah, and this is a crazy situation because in only very rare moments are you going to find girl fights where The over-under is set at 3.5, and the over is plus money. So that's something to look into. That is going to be extremely close. I think it gets finished around the third round. I don't see this going to the scorecards unless Lemos comes out with some crazy footwork and gets Andrade to kind of chase her around. That's the only way I see it. But I think Andrade gets her hands on her. I think this fight is under. So maybe look for it under 4.5. Maybe get like minus 150-ish. Any snipes off rip? Anybody want to drop some props for the boys real quick?
Ooh, no, I'll throw something up on the TikTok or Instagram later this week, and then we got the geek sheet coming out, so definitely there, but nothing coming off
I
the top.
got Jordan Vanada Lando under. I like it. It sounds good. I like the Jordan Wright Barry Olt under. Sounds good to me. And I like the Villanueva Pedro even under, just because I don't think Villanueva can make it.
Let's go. Yeah, man. I hope that's a lot of action. That's the action lay. Let's go. The little action lay. Oh, I remember what I was going to say earlier. You said battle bots. That's like Kenny Florian.
The battle of the bots.
The battle bots. All right. Those are the picks. We are signing out. Go cash them.